Hey folks, welcome to the channel.
Hello.
So, I am making some dragons.
Dragons and...
Dragons.
Well, there's more than dragons there.
There's lots of dragons and there's a skull, skeleton. There's a cat and there's... Right, but those aren't really relevant to this particular video. They're just... Let me explain. I am making two particular dragons. The others are just there because I'm making AquaCast and I tend to do things in bulk. So there you go.
Okay.
So anybody who has been here before will know that the eco resin of my choice is AquaCast.
Yep.
I absolutely love the stuff.
Yep.
There is a discount code down below.
There is.
I think it's Kirnix 15 for 15% discount from ellichem.co.uk.
Yep.
I strongly recommend you go and take a look at them because this stuff is the best. It's game changing.
I wouldn't know.
You're not allowed to use it. Kirk's not allowed to use it because it's a grown-up material.
That's harsh.
I don't think so. I think that is like spot on. Now, I have added a little bit of white pigment and I shall explain. AquaCast does dry white, a beautiful white, but I wanted it
whiter.
Super white. I wanted it super white.
Super white?
Super white. So I added a little bit of the white pigment. And then all I'm going to do is pour it into these molds. Now, these molds are fondant molds that I got from Temu. And the dragons are all, apart from one, are all dragons reading books or sitting on books or...
Book related.
They're book related.
Yeah.
They're bookish because I am a bookish person.
A bookish?
I am a bookish person. I like my books.
I know, yeah.
So
yeah, I like my audio books.
I was going to say, talking of books, I have got Kirk into audiobooks.
Yeah.
More than that, he is going through the entire Terry Pratchett range.
I am.
I'm so happy.
I am, because I do a lot of driving.
You do, and
while I'm driving,
you've just finished Mort, haven't you?
Yes, I've just done Mort. So
okay.
I've got...
How funny is Mort?
Love Mort. Mort was brilliant.
It's so funny. Right,
yeah. I mean, they're so far, all the other books have been really good. But yeah, Mort is really good. You
sound surprised, like I'm going to give you a dodgy book.
No.
Right.
No,
we have to watch this because there's a right. So I was trying to be a bit clever.
Dragons were harmed in the making of this video.
I snapped his arm off. It's not his arm, his wing. But luckily, I glued it back on and it was fine. You'll never know it happened because I used Kirk's super glue. Well,
we do know it happened because we recorded it.
We did. You're supposed to cut that out.
No.
So this is just me going through and unmolding them all. Now, the reason I've got a piece of paper underneath me is because I hadn't long cleaned my desk. And when you unmold any of the eco resins, you inevitably make a bit of a mess.
A bit?
Because you get the sort of the I don't
overpour?
It's not overpour. It's just the
crusty bits.
The crusty bits at the very edge of the mould. For want of a better expression, you get that. And there's no, I don't know how you get round it, but you get it.
Don't put as much in?
No, because if you don't put as much in, then you get underpour and you get a lip. So listen, you, shh.
So these...
What I did was I selected two of the dragons to use in this video. The others are, I do finish them and I do make them, but you don't need to see that. I'll put a community post up with a picture of them all.
Just forget you've seen those.
Forget you've seen them. But no, I will put a community post up with a picture of them all. But I wanted to focus on two for the purposes of this video.
Yeah.
Now, Kirk has had some new paints.
I know. These are my brand new paints.
And I thought it would be so funny to use them.
Mm-hmm.
So what you see me doing here is initially just mixing up all the paints. Because he spent like an hour putting them into some kind of order.
I did.
So the first thing I did was mix them all up. Yeah. Because why not?
But they are not actual paints. They're dipping inks.
Well,
so the idea of these paints is that you don't brush it on as if you would a normal paint. You dab it on so that it pulls in the creases and the crevices, the nooks and crannies.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it dries, it's the deeper bits dry darker.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives the natural shading.
Which is how they're designed to work. However, as you can see, I was brushing it on because I was so traumatized by his reaction to me picking up his paints that I thought, oh, crikey.
You should have seen my reaction when I was watching you do this bit. My eye was twitching because that's not...
Well, if you let me get to my story. So what happened was I thought, well, I'll just use a tiny, tiny bit, which is what I did. But then I looked at Kirk and saw his eye twitching because I wasn't using them properly. And I thought, we're just going to do this for a little while because it's quite funny.
No.
And I was right.
No.
I thought it would be funny. No. And I was right.
But later on.
But I do start actually just blobbing it on because I get bored with traumatizing Kirk in a minute. And then I just throw it all on. I think, you know what? It would actually traumatize him more if I used it all. So I use loads.
No, it wouldn't because I'd just buy more.
I know, but I do just sort of blob it on.
See where you're dipping the brush in and then you're just brushing it on. You see, it's designed just to be dabbed.
I was blobbing it on. That's me blobbing it. It's blobbing. There's blobbing going on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
not enough blobbing, but
I blobbed. Okay. So I wasn't convinced at these paints at this point, if I'm honest. I thought, for me, and just for me, I felt, truthfully, I've made a song and dance about, well, food colouring, basically. Food
colouring?
Yeah. That's what it felt like. I felt like I was painting with food colouring. Nothing was singing to me at this point. I was not being sung to.
Now, that isn't one of my paints, was it? I think you used one of the normal paints for that bit.
Yeah. What I did at this point was I used your dipping paints for the body of the dragon.
Yeah.
I used it for the pages on the book.
Yeah.
And for the horns.
Yeah.
And then I thought, it's not singing to me. I'm not feeling the love. I just wasn't. It didn't do it.
So at what point did it?
I'll show you. Oh. But it's not yet. It's not even, I mean, we're not even close to, I suppose if you're a painty, this is where I really go for it. I just think, just get it done. And I just blobbed a whole load of it, and I must admit, how it turns out, I was like, oh.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Well, I know
done.
that
well,
now.
Well, not actually tip it out onto the thing like that. But
why not? It's easier. It's more efficient.
Well, we would be able to see it if you'd actually done it in camera, in the shot. There you go. Look at that. Look.
It's so close. Look, I've said this once, and if I'll say it again, is it even our video if every single shot is in camera?
This is true. This is very true.
Right. One day it will happen. One day I will do a video and every single bit will be in shot. And people will be like, what are we watching? Who is this?
Mm-hmm.
What has happened?
I will be like that. I will go, what has happened?
You'd actually just keel over in your editing chair.
I would. Yeah, because, I just...
What?
If that's your plan, it's never going to happen because...
I think you're pretty safe. Yeah. Now, at this point, I thought...
you'd use my other paints.
I'm gonna use the paints that you no longer like.
No, I like them.
I'm gonna use them instead. So these are the pearlescent paints, and I thought the books felt bluey
and greeny.
Yeah, they felt sort of blue.
Yeah,
and I liked that, and I liked the pearlescent thing, and I liked
iridescent.
Yeah, whatever they are, the pearlescent.
No, iridescent.
What's the difference?
One's iridescent, one's pearlescent.
But what is the difference between pearlescent and iridescent?
They're spelt differently.
What else? You don't know, do you?
It's the
If
it's the shimmer.
anybody knows what the actual difference is between pearlescent and iridescent, please do leave us a note in the comments. I would love to know. I think they're the same.
No, they're
Kirk
not.
thinks they're just spelt differently, but doesn't know anything more than that. So if any of you are wise, please do let us know. I've sorted it, baby.
Oh, thank you very much.
What I did then is I took some gold and I was just sort of trying to dry brush, not very successfully, I'll grant you, but I was just trying to dry brush.
There was a lot on there.
There was too much on there.
Yeah.
These paint brushes don't they fill it with paint, but they don't
spread the paint evenly.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, well, you know.
I thought this bit you did really well with the dry brushing, but I think that's because you got most of the paint off on the books.
On the books, but that's fine because I just go, it's fine. Yeah, I felt that the books worked well. And then I added a little bit of UV to the wings because I just wanted this, it's a matte mould and I wanted there to be a little bit of shiny on the dragon.
Yeah.
Because I like my shiny,
you
know. So whilst I'm doing that, I would just like to say a huge thank you to all of our members, our subscribers, anyone who sent us a super thanks, anyone who has liked and watched our videos.
Yeah.
You are the sunshine in my day.
Yeah.
Cheesy enough? I thought it was cheesy enough.
I think that needs extra cheese.
I am going to work on the cheesiness.
I think it needs to get to the point where it makes people's teeth itch. It's so cheesy.
Oh. When we get to the point that your teeth are itching, let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll know that that's the line. We won't cross it. Well, no, we will.
We will.
We totally will.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding? Anyway, as you know, I've got a bit of a rhinestone thing going on at the moment. So I gave the dragons rhinestone eyes.
Yep.
Now, I was very happy with the rhinestone eye on the right of the right dragon.
The blue.
But on
blue
the
one,
left, I don't feel they worked as well as they should. Probably needed a smaller rhinestone. So I don't think I do it at any point in camera, but I have actually since taken them off and just given him regular eyes.
Googly eyes?
No, normal, like drawn on with a pen and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't sure and I thought, no, it's just because they're different. But no, I'm not happy with them. So I just took those off. But
you can see the difference there in the wood of that one on the right where it seeped into the
Yes, you can.
The creases.
Yeah. So then what I did is I took I think it's a 12 centimetre by 12 centimetre piece of wood.
Yeah.
And I put far too much paint on it.
There is quite a lot on there.
Yeah. Do you remember the last time I did I did a whole bunch of these?
Yes.
Like loads of them. And I completely forgot how watery that paint is.
Yeah.
And I did exactly the same thing here. Exactly the same thing. I actually gave it a couple of coats.
Yeah.
And then once it was fully dried, popped some holes in the top.
Yeah.
With my super drill. What?
It's a drill.
What's wrong with it?
I'm not sure how super it is.
No, I mean, to be fair, I do need a new one, but you know.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Then I found my rings, jump rings.
Yeah.
And I took 2 for each piece. And I can't remember what size the rings are, but they're quite
they
quite
do
hefty.
look quite big ones,
I think they're 12 millimeters. And they are quite strong. And now the trick with jump rings is don't ever pull them away, pull them apart, away from each other. You bend them backwards and forwards. If you pull them apart from each other, it will distort it, and 2, you will never get it to go together properly ever.
Top tip.
And if you do get them to go together, it won't be strong enough, it won't hold, and whatever you put in it will fall off. And I know this
from experience.
Because when we first started doing things with jump rings, I would sit and do the jump rings and I'd pull them apart because that seemed perfectly logical to me.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, they would completely fall apart. And I couldn't. So obviously you go on YouTube, don't you?
Obviously.
If you want to know how to do something, you go on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I went on YouTube, realised my mistake. And ever since then, I've done it the correct way. Not had a problem since.
No.
So it's all about doing it right. So there are very few things that I don't say to people, oh, just wing it, you'll be fine. This is one of them. Don't wing it, do it right. So that's my top.
That's your top tip.
That is my toppest tip.
Your toppest?
My toppest tip. Don't do your jump rings wrong.
Don't bend your ring wrong.
Yeah. I see what you did there. Now, I took some, I can't remember what this chain's called. I want to say it's ball chain, but that you're going to totally take that. See, I knew that was coming. I'm sure, I don't know.
There's a gag in there somewhere as well.
I'm trying to be serious here.
Why?
I've been doing really well. Do you not think? I've got to what? 2/3 of the video and I've done amazing.
Yeah.
You've just been sat there heckling. You're a heckler.
Yep.
I'm sure it's called a ball chain. I'm sure it is. But it might not be.
Don't Google it.
It could be called something else. Yeah, don't yeah. I'm sure it is. See, I get it from I got this one from Temu.
Yeah.
And I just go onto the page that I've saved and just get more when I need it.
Yeah.
But I like it because you've got this little that thingy there.
Yeah.
And so
it's like a little clasp thing.
Yeah, because I actually put these in our shop. And if I need to make them longer because somebody has said, can I have a slightly longer chain or whatever, it's dead easy to do because you can just use those the little connector type things. So that's, yeah. But so those are all done now. Then it's just a case of taking the dragons. No, I'm totally lying. It is just a case of I have a decor that I cut out on my silhouette.
Yeah.
I've got a whole myriad of them for different reasons. And these two are in
my fantasy era.
In my fantasy era.
Yeah. And
in my, what's the other one?
I thought they were both in my fantasy era.
No. So in my fantasy era is one of them.
Yeah.
And the other one says in my romantasy era.
Yeah.
So at the moment it's very trendy to the sort of the Fae books, I think it's because of the ACOTAR books, all those sorts of books have made Fae and dragons and goblins and all that sort of stuff, romance books set in those settings, very, very trendy and popular.
Okay.
So hence the romantasy, which, I'm all, whatever gets people reading, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. If it makes you read, it makes you read. Unless it's something rubbish.
Well, isn't that still reading?
It is still reading,
even
but yeah.
But so, even if whatever you think it is rubbish, somebody else might like it.
Don't be silly. Don't be so silly.
Okay.
Yeah, no, exactly. Reading is good. Full stop. So that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's not just me saying it. There have been studies upon studies upon studies, blah 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 blah, done, and it's good. It's very good. So then I just pop that onto the bottom.
Yeah.
And I try and get it as straight as.
So is that transfer tape?
So that is that's transfer tape, and the decor is from Tech Wrap. It's the Tech Wrap matte vinyl. Since I've had, so I had a Cricut machine and a silhouette machine. I did a lot of decor cutting, and I have used pretty much every brand available of decor, of vinyl, and without a single shadow of a doubt, the easiest one to weed is Tech Wrap.
And what do you mean by weeding?
Weeding is when you take the big piece of vinyl, you've cut it, and then you have to take the bits you don't want off.
Right,
That's
okay.
weeding.
Right, okay.
So then it is just a case of taking my dragons and popping them onto the board. And for that, I used... So I've not used this before. Normally I use the B600.
Yeah.
But for this, I used Kirk's
super
glue. And then I was like, oh no, what if I put it down and it immediately sticks and I can't like adjust it? Luckily it didn't. And then I thought, oh no, what if it does like it did with the axolotl where it doesn't stick at all?
Yeah. Well, if you get a baby wipe and wipe it off. I
thought, whatever happens, I'm not putting a baby wipe on it. Oh, no. I will just use plan B, which I hadn't formulated at that point. So I pushed it down.
Yeah.
Make sure it was really firm.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'll just go for a cup of tea. I'll go for a cup of tea. And when I come back, fingers crossed, they are stuck. And they were. And I was very happy.
Cool.
So that was them all done.
Yeah.
It was just a case of sending them off to the glamour shots.
Yep.
And then packing them up for their forever home.
For their forever home.
Yeah. So, yeah. There we go.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. If you have liked our creative sort of chaos, then please do hit that like button.
Yeah. And while you're down there, don't forget to give that subscribe a little tickle if you haven't already.
And if you already have,
thank you very much.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I have since taken those rhinestones off because no, I was not happy with them. He looked like a cross-eyed drunk dragon, which obviously was not acceptable to me. So that came off, and I put just regular eyes on him, but I didn't do that on camera because, there we go. All right. Hopefully we will see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Have a great couple of days, people.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye for now.